to Consulting Conversations with Chris and Katie. Today, the topic is how risky is it really to go out on your own? So when I was talking to somebody who had graduated at around the same time that I had, and they were someone who's in a really steady career, and I was someone who had gone out and started my business straight after college, I told them what I was doing with Elevate, and they looked at me and they said, why? Why would you do that? Because they just couldn't understand either the risk it took to go out on your own and do something like this or the motivation behind it. And so we know that something that people often associate with entrepreneurs is risk. So Chris, how risky is it really?
Yeah, that's a great question. And when we think about entrepreneurs and small business people, I think often people do feel it's extraordinarily risky and that entrepreneurs are these kind of forge ahead and take these big giant risks. The reality is that we take smart risks, we take measured risks, we do things that we think we can succeed at. And we know we've got the passion in us to get over that hump. So it's less risky than I think you might think. And that's with the caveat of that you're smart about the risks that you take. In fact, when some consultants were surveyed, 53% of us said we felt it was less risky than working for someone else. So the question becomes, I think, not is it risky? I think there's a risk no matter where you sit today. Very few jobs are secure. The world changes quickly. And so it's risky everywhere. The question is how is it that you can be in a place where you can manage the risk better? And I feel extraordinarily grateful for the fact that when I have my own firm and I do my own thing, there are things I can do to manage and mitigate those risks.
Yes. And that's one of the biggest benefits that I've seen from owning my own business is you have the ability to pivot and keep pivoting and getting your business into a place that you want it, and also respond quickly to different factors as the market changes, as technology changes, as your field changes, and be able to respond to those and grow into them. And so I know the pandemic has affected businesses of all sizes, from the independents to, the huge Fortune 500 companies. How is it though that you, Chris, were able to pivot during this crazy curveball of a year?
It is a crazy curveball of a year, and it threw me for a curveball. I can remember going into 2020 thinking I'd already sold over $100,000 worth of business for the entire year. It was going to be good. We were only going to build on that. Last year we had our best year ever. This year was going to be better. And then in 1 week in March, virtually most of my engagements got pushed out indefinitely. So are they going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. And it was like that. Oh, my business, this is not unfolding like I thought, and I need to do something differently. So as I thought about it pretty quickly, and within just a few days, what do my clients and what do potential clients need? What do I have to offer? How is it that I can do something? And what came to me was the idea that I've managed virtual teams since 2010. I've worked remotely forever. For the last 3 years, I've done virtually all of my work remotely. I teach, I facilitate online all the time. Those are skill sets that are in big demand right now. People need to learn how to do them quickly. So I put together an online course. You helped me learn a new learning platform. And it wasn't something that was in any plan for 2020, but now I've got an offering that I can sell that it meets the market where it is and when it needs. And it was a pivot I made very quickly. And it only took me a matter of weeks. It didn't take me a matter of months or years.
Right. And so just kind of speaking of today's environment, for the people who don't have their own consulting business, but instead are looking to consulting and wondering, should I leave my current job if I'm employed or if I'm unemployed? What's my best next step? What's the advice you would give to them considering this career option?
Yeah, you and I have talked a lot about that because we're in the business of encouraging or helping people that are starting. And when the pandemic hit, we were like, now what do we say? And I think what we talked about and put in some blogs in March still holds. Mm-hmm. And that is that this may or may not be the right time to start, but it's absolutely a perfect time to take that measured risk to start something. And you can, the wonderful thing about this is you can start a consulting business or a freelance business in a number of ways without quitting your full-time job. You can have a side hustle. You can start to explore it. You can start to build the foundation before you turn in your notice or before you make that change. And so I think this is a great time to explore it. I think it's a great time to start to build your foundation. There's lots of ways to get started without, leaving your full-time job if you have one. But I think it's a perfect time to re-examine as the market shifts and as new demands come up, and ask yourself, and it's a time of reinvention for everyone. What do you want to reinvent yourself to be?
Right. And a big risk you might have is not doing anything,
Yeah.
It's like you're taking a risk by just sitting there when you could be using this time to actually build out this dream business that you want to grow into. Because what we've talked about this whole time is that we know one day the market's going to recover. And we know, if anything, these long-term trends that we've seen of people going independent could even accelerate as a result of an event like this, where companies are looking more often to outsource their talent and pull them in, and outsource specialized talent, which many consultants are. And so this could be the best time that you have to really lay the solid foundation of what you want your business to be. And then when you're ready, you can leap fully into it.
That's right. I think you'll know, like, lay the foundation, watch the market, understand, get everything ready, start to explore however that looks for you, and then know when that right time is. But I totally agree with you. Perhaps the riskiest place of all to be is just laying low and not doing anything.
Yeah, so if you are ready to take some steps towards this business and you need some resources to help you, check out what we have to offer you from Leap.